Hey, happy Friday.
Happy
Friday.
Friday.
Happy Friday.
Woohoo.
Yay,
Memorial Day
yay.
weekend, 3-day
Oh
weekend.
no, Memorial Day.
What do you mean? Oh no.
Oh
That's funny. What does that mean?
I don't know.
What does that mean? Oh no.
Oh, what happened? Mokita
Oh, what do you mean? What do
dropped.
you mean?
Mokian could come back. Oh
Oh,
damn.
There
there
she
she
is.
is.
There she is.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
hey.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, man.
Cheers. 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 Cheers.
Friday. It's a
Woo!
Friday.
It's a
This
fun-filled
Friday.
week. Let me tell you. I don't know if we want to. Let's start off with something petty. Can we start off with something petty?
Petty.
We love it.
All I want to know, and maybe some guys can help me understand.
Here we go.
Here we go. Dana.
Here we go.
Start off with how Dana.
Why on
Anna,
earth?
you said that's not the answer. That's not the answer, William. That's not
Right.
the answer.
Good job.
Why
Good job.
on earth would Puffy post a picture of himself and Jennifer Lopez,
He is so nasty.
hashtag it
TBT.
Throwback Thursday?
He's
You gotta
ridiculous.
shoot your shot. You gotta shoot that shot. You
Shoot
know?
the shot. Is
He's
that what
nasty.
you're
Yeah, yeah.
doing?
Throwback, so I mean, he put his hat in the ring.
Oh wow.
So he want that old thing back.
Oh my goodness.
Want that
Telling
old
you.
thing back.
He want that.
Wow.
I don't think that's a guy thing. That's a fucking thing.
Oh, that's a Puffy thing. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
let's go ahead with the clarity. That's not a
Yeah,
guy thing.
I guess he figured
Yeah,
if she take an application from the past, like Dwight said, let me
Why
shoot
gotta
my
be
shot.
she?
You know
Why
what I'm
can't be
saying?
him?
There you go.
Because it's
Brandy, that's come on now,
Why
Brandy.
you gotta
Let's-
be she? Is she
Brandy, you've been trying to defend J Lo through 3 different relationships
I don't
since this thing started. Okay.
Why can't he be just being a messy old B?
J Lo done been through 3 different relationships
They're
since the
saying
culture
that
started.
she is-
Brandy, please stop defending J Lo.
She is taking her old resumes because she's with Ben Affleck.
Yes, but the ones that were decent and treated her right.
Well, who's to say that Puffy didn't, Brandy?
Right, how do we
He
know that?
put her on. I thought
She
he
became
was
she became a
Yeah, Brandy.
superstar after that shootout.
He
Let's be
did.
clear.
You put her
Brandy,
on
that's
the
a
map,
very
Brandy.
female.
Yeah, on the map.
That's a
He
female
put her on
chauvinistic
the
thing to
map.
assume, Brandy.
He
Listen,
did.
she got all her black
If
street cred
he
in that
could have
club
done
that
that
day.
silently,
Yeah.
just like Ben did. He's
Yeah.
all about the.
I
Don't
don't
forget who
know.
Puffy is.
No. I don't think everybody is on the same page of what we're talking about.
He could have done that privately if he wanted to shoot his shot. TBT.
Oh, okay. That's it. There we go.
He just
Why
wanted
did you say
attention.
that,
That's
Brandy?
all.
Why you just say that? Talking about
Brandy.
why?
Kim Kardashian text Lamar Odom too.
Well, she's not the one that went with him, sir. It was Chloe.
Right, it's Chloe. Yeah,
we
Chloe.
right there, Dana.
Look, they were close. In the house.
Tell him, Dana. It's all part of the same.
Ain't no
They're all
telling
part
how
of the
many
same witch clan that out here killing
No,
people.
witch clan. Oh,
Oh,
boy.
Witch
thank
clan.
you.
They're all part of the same
Boy.
same 3 witches.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Wait.
He's starting early.
Listen,
My goodness.
I call it like I see it. I don't know why y'all keep tripping, and I don't know. Again, message to black men:
right.
stop messing with Kardashians unless you just want your whole life rocked.
Hey boy, they will send you into a spiral downward quick.
Brandy,
At least you get
Lamar,
paid in the
Ray J.
process, though. At least you make a little bread in the process.
Nah, Lamar ain't make no money. Lamar down there broke.
Lamar damn near lost his career messing around with them. What you talking about?
I'm gonna tell you, you know who the smartest for Lamar is Reggie Bush. He
Right,
like
I say, he did.
No way.
No, and Ray J.
Reggie
And
was
Ray
the only one
J.
too.
and Ray J. But
Lamar said last week
he didn't get no contract.
that he
But
wishes
Tristan's
that
different. He a different
Oh,
kind of
I'm
Negro.
sorry.
He different.
Roy, I'm speaking, Roy. I'm speaking.
She said, "Uh-oh." Now she says, "Uh-oh."
I say, 2021. Come on. Come on. Uh-oh.
Oh, ain't my signal.
2021. I'm speaking was 2020.
Oh,
Look, congratulations to Curtis Fuller
All right,
out
Curtis.
of Jacksonville. Curtis
We see you with your ET hat.
Curtis said his wife's car broke down. His truck broke down. And then he ended up getting a $5 scratch off.
That's awesome.
That's
And
amazing.
went ahead and got that paper.
Won't he do it? Will he?
Won't he?
Won't he?
Won't he really?
won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Won't he won't?
Now that we've announced it on the culture, Curtis gonna have to hide. He's gonna have to run.
Curtis had that mask on for a reason in that. It wasn't a pandemic. Let's be clear.
Listen,
Don't be messy.
Once you put Curtis' business out there, now he gotta go and hide. Damn.
Oh my gosh.
I'll be like, I'm not that Curtis Fuller. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. I just realized what y'all was talking about Usher.
I'm like, don't be messy, girl. Let's
That is
go.
too much. We're not talking about Usher this week.
No.
You know,
Usher is not on the menu.
Somebody-
now.
so can somebody enlighten me
On the way, though.
with regards to lottery protocol?
They
Because
both
I've
have a
heard-
baby on the way.
Yeah.
I've heard two different things about lottery protocol. I've heard that you can't claim a prize over, I guess it's 250,000 anonymously. Like they have to put your name, like I guess in their paper or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But the way to
I heard that
circumvent
too.
that is that you can have like a trust or like a money manager to claim the money for you.
Mhm.
So are both of those things true, or what's the deal with that?
I think what you can do is you could get a law firm to go in and as a representative of for, and you create your
Are
trust
you
or what have you.
speculating, Captain?
Then they have to get a cut.
Oh no,
It might be worth it.
Down, didn't she?
No, I'm not
J.E.G.
speculating.
She said, Negro, you find flat planes.
Wait, hold on, everybody. Hold on.
Speculation.
Hold on,
No,
everybody.
you have to say,
Big bro. Big bro, you speaking from experience? You've been holding out on us.
Right.
You speaking from experience? You've been holding out. What am I saying?
You're like, don't think this pilot's license was cheap, brother. You know?
Right. He do live in a castle now.
Cannot confirm nor deny. Cannot confirm nor deny.
Well, let's keep it with the information and breaking the news on things that Howard University names College of Fine Arts after Chadwick Boseman. Yes.
I paid him for a year.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
I'm telling you, got that. Felicia Rashad Dean. It's beautiful.
Exactly, Velma. See what Velma said? See, I'm with Velma. 30%. That's a lot.
That's a lot, especially if you go ahead and not receive the installments and you just take the lump sum, because you know they tax like 40%,
30%.
30%. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I just might have to put my name out there.
I'm sure you can find. I'm sure you can find somebody to take that for like maybe 10, 5. I'm sure. I'm positive.
Well, I do believe, and I know this from experience, that you can negotiate.
Y'all know I'm licensed. I'll do it.
You can negotiate what the rate is.
While y'all wilding, I would take it public and then be broadcasting from some island in the Caribbean where I ain't got to worry about the hands of relatives reaching me. That's
hey, and put up that Shannon Sharp meme.
Latif, you do that funny. So accurately.
I know. I thought so too.
Don't do that to Latif.
He did, because I was like, "What meme? I don't know what that is." But as soon as he started doing it, I knew exactly what he was talking about. Hey, you guys! It's been a year since we witnessed our first verses. Yes. So the duo is back at it again. They will be at Live Sunday night for I guess this will be round 1 for the second year of verses. So it'll be Timberland versus Swiss Beats.
Oh wow!
Long as
that's
Teddy
big.
Riley.
And they're gonna be here. And they're gonna be here.
That's the rematch.
What I said, Captain. That's exactly what I said.
Lim is a club here in Miami.
Oh boy,
we don't know what the captain is.
Rematch.
Lim is located here in Dade County, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
Is it?
Dade County?
Yeah.
I thought it was County Dade.
No.
It could be
County
either
of
one, too.
God.
County of Dade County. Born and
Miami,
raised in the county.
Miami Beach is an island just off the coast.
Right.
In the county of Dade.
Funny story. In Hampton, there was this dude driving around with Dade tags on. So we saw him. So I stopped. I was like, "Hey man, so what's happening?" He was like, "What's up, man?" I said, "So you from Miami?" He was like, "Yeah." I said, "What part?" He said, "Dade County." I said, "All right, dog." I said, "All right, dog. I'll holler at you."
Yeah, no, you're not.
That's so good.
You're not.
You're not from Miami.
You ain't from here. You ain't from here.
That's
Don't
not
do him like that. He said he's from
that's
Dade
not how
County.
you identify where you're from. Obviously,
No.
Absolutely
No.
not.
You guys are
Latif, you told that man to have a nice day.
Absolutely not.
I said, deuces.
Look,
ain't no need to talk no more. What we gonna talk about?
Like, oh, I'm from Florida.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Oh, y'all
Right.
from Dade County.
That's not it. That's
How about
not
you
the
or
answer.
Sutter County?
That's right.
Look, let's take it to the ATL. Did you guys see this? At Langston Hughes High, Atlanta rapper Metro Mars. Yeah, he said he threw out $10,000 at graduation.
Now, you see how 2021 popping it now? Y'all see what's going on? Okay. All right. Okay. Let's get out of control, y'all. All right, y'all. Let's get it over.
Isn't that English?
Mo, isn't that was at your daughter's graduation, right, Mo?
That was at my daughter's graduation.
Wait, they couldn't even catch him. Like,
He was
on the mic.
Listen to me. He was twirling on him. He was twirling. He was spinning on him.
That cape was flying in the air, girl.
Listen to me.
But he threw $10,000.
That was the most.
So he graduated.
My daughter
as well?
graduated. Yeah, he did graduate as well. My daughter graduating was the highlight of my day. He was the icing on the cake, y'all. When I tell y'all, it was fantastic.
But wait, who was on the mic, Mokita?
Hold on, Mokita. Did you get a stack?
My daughter got some, yes.
Mokita was like, so after I got off the town, after getting all this money.
No. None of the parents moved. It was only the kids, and the kids were not disruptive. He waited until the end of the ceremony. Everybody had gotten their diplomas. It was right before the tassel turn. And
they knew he was gonna, because how he got all the way back.
Let me tell you how it happened. He stuffed the money down his pants, so you couldn't see it. You could see it afterward. If you really looked at him, you could see where his legs looked like. Remember how the Incredibles' legs were so much bigger than their body? That is how his legs looked in the picture. He was having a hard time walking and everything. So he had on a pair of pants, and then he had on another pair of pants over it. Right. So the money was down in the pants that were over it.
The second pair.
So he got up on the stage and he just started throwing money. The person that was talking was another kid at the school. He was getting ready to
like his hype man.
He about to go on the road with him.
Right. So that guy was just getting ready to say, "Hey, we're getting ready to turn the tassel." So the guy got up there and started throwing the money, and the parents went crazy. We was screaming and hollering, and then when they couldn't catch him because he was twirling, he was Supermaning on. I mean, he was all over the stage. The police came because they couldn't catch him.
They still have him in custody. They still
no, ma'am. He was released probably about an hour afterwards.
But why wouldn't they just let him? I don't understand why they just let him.
This is my thing. He throwing 10 stacks. probably gonna be broke by 22.
Well, no, he just signed a record deal with the label that Migos is on. So
he's with QC.
Right.
Well, he made everybody in that graduation have a memorable graduation. Those people will never forget that.
Was he had seen his classmates in so long. Some of them wouldn't probably get anything for graduation, and he wanted to do something for them.
That's right.
So the kids were not disruptive though. But let me tell you, the parents got hyped when the police came. We started screaming, "Let him go!"
That's amazing.
Yeah,
it was great. It was fantastic.
In my mind, all I can see is that the record label that signed him gave him the money as a part of a promotion for his album to launch.
Probably did.
Just something that makes sense.
He was on Wendy Williams the other day.
See?
Yeah.
Nobody.
He was on Wendy Williams.
Who is that?
Nobody knew who Metro Mars was before this.
Oh, his name is Metro Mars.
Right. Yeah.
Metro
nobody
Mars.
knew who he was before this. Let's stay in Atlanta on this though.
Okay.
Dominique denied going into the restaurant because he was black. They told him no.
That's right.
Really?
When we gonna stop going?
And that's not the. Here's the thing. That's not the first time that's happened with this restaurant.
Wait, what restaurant is this?
Whatever.
Velma, it wouldn't have been as much.
Wouldn't happen at the Waffle House. That's all I'm saying.
Wasn't there a young kid and his girl got turned away or whatever because he had
right, like that sushi spot when T.I. got involved.
Right, and that's
because of his shoes or something.
I will never go back there.
And then a white boy walked in with Converse, and they were like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say that happens in Atlanta because didn't we go to that restaurant, honey, and they told us no, you couldn't come in because you had sneakers on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my dad, we all went out. A&T had this classic. They wouldn't let him come in with the A&T baseball cap on. That was at Justin's, which is now closed. Yeah. But yeah, that's very common for Atlanta.
It is, but they waffle between what is that?
They pick and choose.
I didn't get to finish, but that was exactly where I was going, Senator.
Okay, my bad.
I'm sorry. PTSD from racism. I apologize.
This is the culture. This is the culture right here. This
PTSD.
Racism makes me angry.
Yeah, I mean, here's the interesting. Dominique Wilkins. I mean, you talking about somebody who was born in France.
Yeah.
You're a professional athlete. You tasted the best food across the world, and in your own town, in the city that you built, you can't even get into the restaurant because you're black.
Yeah. Right. I would say it's a tremendous injustice because if there's anybody who should ever have a lifetime pass to get in anywhere in Atlanta, it should be Dominique, shouldn't it?
Man.
Like real talk.
Hey man, it ain't
Dr. J got free cheesesteaks for life in Philly, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. The human highlight film, T.I., Lil Jon, and maybe Young. Michael Vick, if they can't get into a restaurant, that means nobody should be able to get in.
I mean, and here's the thing: he really frequents places like Dominique Wilkins is in the public, so it's not like,
right.
He's always been that way. So it's not like he's trying to hide. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we need.
You can't act like you didn't know who he was. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy.
Maybe if he stabbed the curl
outside of the arena. Come on.
If he stabbed the curl from back in the day, that might.
Well, I was going to say, Dominique, Senator Bullard, you know what? This is a story right up your alley. I'm not sure if you heard about it, but Central Park Karen, she went ahead and sued her former employer because of racial bias.
Why is it always about race?
She said she wasn't able to get another job based on the fact that they fired her for what she did to the bird watcher in Central Park.
And
look how she's choking that dog, though.
And that's racial bias.
She got in trouble with that.
That is racial bias.
You don't have anything to say, Senator?
It must be tough out here for white women. I tell you, they have had it rough.
It's hard out here for
you know what happens?
It just
companies don't want any of that smoke, right? They don't want any of that publicity. And so what happens is when you have somebody like that lady who does something that's wrong, what happens is that company gets labeled as racist. Right.
Well, I gotta drink some more. I gotta drink some more salty white tears. Hold on.
Yeah.
You got fired.
Here we go. Do y'all see my instrument?
Great. I can't hear.
Do y'all see my instrument? Y'all see my
Oh, he playing it.
Our castmates are awesome.
Now, Central Park, Karen. Now you can get a taste of your own medicine. How
you can get a taste. You get a taste of what stuff that we've been dealing with for years, right?
That's what she's saying. That's
we can't get no job, and how many times do you be twice or 3 times as qualified? Where you see these I've seen counterparts come in that don't look like me. They get training on the job, and next me be your boss.
Right. So I can tell you the reason why they're not going to give her job back is the way she was choking that dog.
Exactly.
That was more important to them.
Exactly.
Super real.
That was probably it.
That wasn't the first time either.
That's true.
I can believe it.
That's true. It had nothing to do with the black folk. It's all do about that dog.
Animal rights.
Rin Tin Tin, Lassie,
We're gonna touch that dog. Can I touch that dog?
That's terrible.
Well, y'all, it's also the anniversary of the Tulsa massacre. Black Wall Street. CNN has
good
an
segue.
awesome
special.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was good.
CNN has an awesome documentary that's coming on Monday at 9 p.m. I think. LeBron James is one of the producers. Check this trailer out.
There was nothing that you could not do.
From executive producers LeBron James and Maverick Carter.
People call it Black Wall Street.
White Tulsans murdered black folks.
Victims were buried in unmarked graves.
There was a systematic cover-up.
We have a responsibility to find the truth.
Dreamland, the burning of Black Wall Street.
Wow. Yeah.
Russell Westbrook also has a documentary coming on the History Channel as well. So, there's been a lot of good filmmaking done around it. It's the 100th anniversary. Just shout out to all the creators.
I'm kind of one fact. A lot of people really don't know about this. The Gap Band is from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, really?
Right. The name of the street.
And the name Gap Band comes from Black Wall Street, Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. Gap Band. And that's how they came up with their name.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I also want to show you this.
It's the double meaning of you dropped the bomb on me too.
Yeah.
You dropped the bomb. Oh, God.
Exactly. You're correct. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
I think I could have received that from somebody else. Not from you.
He was playing.
I
did. I started singing, and then I was like, "Wait a minute."
I took it the wrong way. But let's listen to one of the living survivors who is 107 years old.
Sure. I'm the daughter of Lucinda Ellis and John Wesley Ford of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm the sister of Hughes Van Ellis, who is also here today. I'm a survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre. 2 weeks ago, I celebrated my 107th birthday. Today, I'm visiting Washington, D.C. for the first time in my life. I'm here seeking justice, and I'm asking my country to acknowledge what happened in Tulsa in 1921. On May 31st in 21, I went to bed in my family's home in Greenwood. Neighbors of Tulsa, the neighborhood I felt asleep in that night, was rich, not just in terms of wealth, but in culture, community, heritage, and my family had a beautiful home.
And she went on to talk about the fact that even now she has vivid encounters of the things that happen on a daily basis. She smells the smoke. She still sees the pilots flying over them, dropping bombs, having to be relocated in the middle of the night. And
that's what happens when you get older. You go and you remember early years stuff.
Can we just talk about how great she looks at 107?
She looks awesome.
And she was reading.
Yes.
And she was reading.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
With Jessica, we going with it, girl, because this we finna before you have Senator Bullitt give it.
She looked real good. I was like, dang, she reading that thing.
Right.
Girl, and then when he pushed up the mic, I said, you didn't even need to do that because she was speaking clearly and loudly.
Right.
Loud and strong.
Okay, Jessica.
Well, my
go
problem.
ahead.
All right, go ahead, Jessica. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let it go.
Senator Bullard.
My issue.
Oh, okay.
I'm not Senator Bullitt, but my.
None of us were.
You can be Senator Paul, bro. Go ahead, Dana.
My issue is that, they've had survivors and nobody has done a documentary. None of these big producers or anything have done a documentary in all these years. And why is that? That's my.
They're telling themselves.
That's my issue with a lot of these so-called producers.
Hey man, the one thing you gotta realize is that Black Wall Street, what happened in Tulsa, is far from the only one that happened here in America. There are several towns where blacks were prominent and they got a hold and they were striving economically, they were striving socially. It was that black dollar stayed there.
But this is one of the bigger ones that nobody.
Right, it's one of the biggest ones. It's one of the biggest ones, but this is not isolated to Tulsa.
Oh, I know,
and that's the thing.
I know America and New York and every place else. I know about all that other stuff.
But my point is,
nobody would sit down and interview these people.
Right,
and make a documentary.
Right,
about movies about women and jokes and everything else.
Right, and my point is that this, I guarantee you, Rosewood is going to make a resurgence in Florida, and then you're going to see several other cities across the country pop up and stuff like that, unless they have a stronghold on the black community and be like, now you look here, we don't want no troubles. Around here.
Producers are looking at in Hollywood. They don't
want no troubles around
here. What I will say is, I'm going to have to go ahead and interrupt you, Hampton graduate, and just bring to light that it takes a while to do a documentary. So even though this one is coming out at this point, they didn't just start it. Let me just tell you, it is a journey to trying to pull together factual information. And so even though we think it could have happened, it should have happened a while ago, God has its timing. It happened for this time. And who would have known if 10 years ago, if they put it out, if CNN would have even been interested? It took the situations and the way that life is right now to even afford a platform like that for people to be able to view it for free versus having it in limited theaters or being launched at the Black Film Festival or something that we know. So to your point, it could have happened a long time ago, but what a good time for it to come out.
Yeah, which would limit the view.
For me, I'm not
right.
It's comfortable to bring it out now. So that's
well, it is, and it's easy to bring it out now. But the reality is what my wife is saying.
It's accepted now, but they didn't start on it now. There's no way you can turn a documentary like that around in such a short period of time.
No, I mean I don't
know.
It takes time, but.
Not 100 years. I get it.
Do the right thing.
Well, 100 years ain't really. It's not too far. We're not too far removed from it, anyways. But I also do believe it does take a LeBron James and somebody who really has the financial backing, the fortitude, and the know-how to get to where we need to get to. Right. So you can push buttons. You can push the right buttons to make the CNNs of the world because they want to do other stuff too to make it work.
My problem or my issue with these type of documentaries is not one of enlightenment. Like, I'm all for the enlightenment of our people because I think that with every passing generation we lose a sense of culture as it pertains to our history because it's just not emphasized and taught the way that it was when we were coming along. But my main issue with this stuff is just that what are they going to do about it?
Well,
what are they planning to do? What are they planning to do about that? Because I read a story not too long ago where California I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, Roy, maybe you have read it too. maybe there was a part of Huntington Beach that was owned by a black family, and they basically just took this land from this family. But the state of California decided to make it right and re-gift this land back to these people, which is now worth like $75 million for their profitability. So my thing is, so now that we know about this, and now that Tulsa, Oklahoma, like my brother said, is not just an isolated case, what do these people plan to do with this information? How do they plan to right their wrongs? How do they plan to rectify these situations?
Thank you, Miles, for asking the question that I wanted to ask. Senator Bullard, what I was trying to ask you was, what was the justice that she could be satisfied with when she said what she asked, that she had never received any type of recoupment or any type of justification or accountability? What would something like that look like?
So the justification for why she was in DC in the first place was that the Congressional Black Caucus is using the moment to try and get some semblance of reparations for people who've been wronged historically. Currently, there are 3 remaining Tulsa survivors. It was her, the gentleman next to her, and there was another person, 101, 105, and 107 that are left. The problem that I have is that if they limit it to just the survivors, right? If they just do a cash payment out to survivors, you know, it's great. It's a legacy that they can leave for their families. But to the earlier points that folks are making, it doesn't satisfy the destruction, the disruption of families, the murder, the causation, all the things. And so, to Miles's point, there needs to be a greater thing. There needs to be a greater attachment. Like the federal government, the state of Oklahoma, should never allow a black high school graduate to not be able to go through college for free. Like that for me is the reparations that I need to come out of Tulsa. And the reason I say that I use that is because that's what was applied to Rosewood. But for the survivor, you know, the descendant, anyone who's a descendant, a lot of people don't know this, anyone who's a descendant of the Rosewood Massacre in Florida has a scholarship for life.
Where, Dwight?
In Florida.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
A lot, and the reason, but the problem again that racism does is that they only limited it to the families, quote unquote, that they knew of. So understand this: Rosewood, you lost about, real guesstimates put it anywhere between 60 and 100 people that were murdered, mass murdered in Rosewood. The official police report only puts it at 6 people.
Right, which is extreme.
And so you have to be a descendant of one of those 6 people in order to get the scholarship. And the same thing goes with this application, is that racism is going to say that just because there are only 3 people left, so it can't be for everybody, you know, it can't be for the people who survived and then ended up in places like Texas or ended up in places like California. It's only for the 3 people that we know are the surviving. And that's the frustrating part. And that makes me want to fight folks, because you disrupted the lives of Black people diasporically when these kinds of things happen. Like, the reason that Rosewood was such a problem was because, you know, people took the census and couldn't understand why there were no Black people in this section of Florida, why there were Black people in Gainesville and Orlando, but they couldn't figure out why there were no Black people in this little bubble. And it's because you had generations of people that said, I am never, ever going back there, because they literally snatched my land, murdered my family, and made me run for fear of my life. And for that, that's psychological pain attached to that.
And it's generational.
Run me my coins for that.
Yeah.
So for the stress you put my family through.
In my opinion, as far as justification for it, there truly won't be enough justification, because, and the reason why I say there's no justification for it is because you got rid of businesses. We don't know if that particular business would have blossomed into something extremely like a Macy's or whatever. We don't know if that could have blossomed into, or, you know, what have you. I mean, and therefore the people who were murdered. We don't know if that person could have gone on to produce our first black president or our first black senator or stuff
do
like that.
We do, Teef, and that's the bigger part about it.
But what I'm saying is the justification.
Right,
so therefore there is no so whatever you throw back, it ain't gonna be enough, because we don't know what the potential was for all those people that were murdered. We don't know what the potential was for Greenwood and the Black Wall Street that was going on at that time. They could have been the model and set this and been the beacon of hope for the rest of the black neighborhoods in the country, which of course is what white folks didn't want to happen. And therefore, that right there, you will never be able to give me enough.
For sure.
So I agree.
But the very least they could do is set the next generation up for success.
Yeah, I agree 1,000% with what Lateef is saying, but I need people to understand, like when 1990 happens at East St. Louis, when Wilmington, North Carolina, in 1898.
Yep.
When all these violent acts against black prosperity happen, that's exactly what it was meant to do, to stamp out the potential. And so when people sit there, what bothers me is when black folks say black people shouldn't get reparations. It is that kind of ignorance that really makes me want to punch somebody in the face. Because again, you've robbed people of generations of wealth with intent, with malicious intent. Because Rosewood was home to 3 banks, 2 movie theaters, a couple of hotels. I want you to think about that. So to Lateef's point, you're talking about banks that already existed.
Right.
So the wealth that those folks are putting in that bank just goes away. They can't now go back to the state of Oklahoma and be like, well, what would be the rising
time value of $1?
Exactly. You know what I mean?
$1 trillion. Give me $1 trillion.
It's the erasure. It's the erasure of black prosperity that was the intention in all these acts. So I got no love for any black person that isn't on board with the idea of needing reparations. Like, even if I don't see it, the fact that I need my niece and nephew to benefit from all the work put in by previous generations, because this cycle keeps happening. We just sit back and be like, we'll get a shot, we'll get a chance. Everybody else seems to get it.
Yeah,
Japanese got it for internment. And to the earlier point around the documentary piece, the frustration I have is that how many Vietnam movies we got, how many World War II movies we got, how many Holocaust movies we got, you know what I'm saying? So miss me with the timing piece. We should have this is the thing about racism. It keeps trying to erase black people and black experiences. And until people like LeBron and Russell Westbrook step up with their money, but it shouldn't be that way. Steven Spielberg should have stepped up on this. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mike Lee.
That compensation.
That's what
I'm with you, boy. That compensation is unquantifiable. Man. It's unquantifiable.
It's trillions, and I want it all. I want it all.
My mother still talks. My mother had when Emmett Till. She was Emmett Till's neighbor. And imagine they were going to come back and get the rest of the families too. And you have to get up in the middle of the night and you don't know where you're going. You just know your whole family's packing and you're moving and you don't know where you're moving. Can you just think about that? And we're still not too far removed from this stuff.
No, we're not.
And none of them had to live that fear. That's something that is psychologically built into a lot of stuff that we deal with, and nobody can compare it because they can't relate to it at all.
No.
It's never happened.
You're right, because Roy is waking up right now at 4:00 in the morning, and I'm like, baby, we're not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. We're staying right here.
But
I
cannot.
Let's stay on this topic with LeBron James, as well as the topic of.
Roy was just going to the strip club, Ms. Markins. Don't worry.
I'm sorry.
Look at the time. What time?
Roy was just going to. He was just going to G5. He was coming right back. He's coming right back.
I'm gonna need you to stop wanting to punch people in the face, though. Okay.
Just white.
I need
you
you
need to be punched in the face.
No, you tripping.
I need Senator
I'm with you,
Bullard.
Dwight.
That
I'm
is
with
the
you,
problem.
Dwight. They can
That
get
is the
these
problem.
hands.
Senator Bullard.
They need these
That
hands.
is
They
the
need
problem.
16,
Get
19
these hands.
hands.
Exactly. That is the
Senator
problem.
Bullard, we have other hands
We've
that
been
can
too
handle that.
passive.
I got
need
400
you
years
to-
worth of hands that they can get.
I need you not to have the hands.
That's
You
right.
can find somebody with those hands.
You've been too passive for
get
so
it.
long.
They could get it
You've been
because
too passive for
Some
so
people only
long.
respect
exactly.
loss of life.
Ebony said they could get it.
Exactly,
So
Dana.
look,
Exactly,
let's keep
Dana.
talking about LeBron. Did you guys see the tweet that LeBron put out about protecting our players and the lack thereof with the NBA? I'm not sure if you all saw this, but Russell Westbrook. Let's go to the tape. Go ahead and press play.
From the stands, you can see Russell Westbrook very upset, having to be restrained. He wanted to come back out. Thankfully, he did not come back out, and it appears that the person, I will not call him a fan, was ejected.
The guy in the red hat?
No,
Miss Monkins, just to provide
and we
a little bit
I
of
was
context.
watching it with
I didn't
my,
get a
with my
chance
family.
to, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Jessica.
We were saying that, like, we were saying what would have happened if this was UD. You know, and we started talking about that. We was like, you know, listen, they would have had to shut Miami Arena down because if that was
They would have to shut Miami down.
Oh my goodness! But it's terribly disrespectful, and you know, I agree. I couldn't agree more because you know you always want to hold you know the players to a certain standard, right? But you also have to protect them too. Like it's unacceptable, it's rude, it's disrespectful, and that type of behavior cannot be tolerated.
So go ahead, Miles, and get a backstory.
Yeah, I was ready to
Go
say
ahead, Miles, and get a backstory.
Well, a lot of people don't. Well, no, I'm not gonna say a lot of people don't know, but remember, this is not Russell Westbrook's first incident with a fan. A couple of years ago, he got into it with a fan in Utah, where a Utah fan had made some very verbal, disrespectful comments about him getting on his knees and doing some other things with his private parts. And Russell Westbrook was like, "Hey, man, I'll come up there and F you up, you and your chick." Like, so he's had a history of being outwardly disrespected by the fans, and he comes out and he talks about this stuff. He comes out and he talks about it, and he says, like, "Listen, man, this is a problem in our league because I'm all in favor of a fan being a part of the game. However, there has to be a line drawn in the sand where, as a fan, you stay in a fan's place, and as a player, I'm gonna stay in my place." If you remember, like in the mid 2000s, LeBron had a verbal exchange with a fan where a fan said something to the effect to LeBron, like, because the rumor was that LeBron's mother was messing with one of his teammates, and the fan said,
"That was a fact."
Hey, right, it was. But the fan said, "Hey, LeBron, is your mom going to Delonte Williams' house this weekend for Valentine's Day?" And LeBron was like, "Hey, man, listen, you can say whatever you want. You're a fan. You paid your money for that seat, but don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful." And I think that those lines get blurred for fans sometimes because they feel so entitled because they paid their money, and I can say what I want and I can do what I want. But like Russell Westbrook said, Westbrook said it all the time. If you see me in the street, you would not address me as such.
You would.
And that's the bottom line.
Exactly.
Arrogant is
You
arrogant.
would not.
So don't come on my job.
Because here's the thing.
You be speechless. You be speechless. You be, like you said, Miles, you be copping
the arena because he had an injury.
Right.
So he was walking off the court because of the injury when the fan took the bucket of popcorn and proceeded to pour it on him.
That's why he wasn't dressed.
The sad part about it is people really think.
And do that.
Yeah, well, because exactly, Mokita, you said a mouthful. You were coming to my job, right? And people think that it's acceptable because you're a millionaire that I'm supposed to accept. Matter of fact, I know people in my circle that said, "Oh, it was just popcorn." No, it's not just popcorn.
It's because it's entertainment. They're mixing the line between entertainment and understanding that this is how these people make a living. You know what I'm saying? Like they think you doing something for them. That's what they think.
And who knows what could have been in that popcorn?
And
it's too much going on in this world.
Fans should be pressed and placed in the NBA.
The popcorn is definitely not going to hurt him, right? But it's the intent. It's what you did with it. You had malicious intent when you poured that popcorn on him. You know what I'm saying? So it's
no more NBA games.
But then, like, there was another player. There was another player that got spit on.
Yeah,
He didn't even know. Yeah, he didn't even know that. And I was like, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I said that situation definitely could have went left too. Had he even known that he didn't even know. But I'm like, that was out of control.
That was Ron Artest and Steven Jackson. But this is the key. The NBA has to pay very close attention to this, because what you did when Ron Artest ran up in the stands and when Steven Jackson ran up in the stands defending himself, and even who was the Knicks player when the fan was heckling his wife?
You said something else. Some of the Knicks player. I thought you were going somewhere else.
The Knicks players who was heckling his wife. I can't remember his name, but he had to go up in the stands.
Carmelo.
No. It wasn't Melo. It wasn't Melo.
That's
Melo might have been another one, but there was another one, and he walked up in the stand because he looked back and saw his wife, and he was like, "I had to go up there." He said, "If I ain't go up there, I was going to hear it from her." And so, but the NBA, they really got to take a hard look at these fans, because you will prosecute the player to the fullest extent, fine them, suspend them. What you did to Ron Artest and Steven Jackson for years on end.
Ban them for the rest of the year.
Right. They banned them for the rest of the year.
Maxwell, you remember that one, Roy?
Yeah.
Right. And Van Exel. But now here you see the fan, and all y'all gonna do is just let him go home.
They just let him go home. They said that he was banned. And you can tell me you can't spend your money. They're telling him you cannot spend your money with us anymore, as if that's some type of punishment.
That ain't no punishment.
Right.
That ain't no punishment.
They need to give him.
No, they need to prosecute his behind, because that is assault.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you what else you do. You show their face.
Right.
You plaster their face all over the news.
But
social media.
Hey, but just like me and my dog Dana. Just like me and my dog Dana.
That's what Shaq said during the Heat
me and my dog Dana
said, show their face.
Hey, nah, let them go. Just meet me out back, dog.
No, cuff them and put them in their locker room.
Right.
Well, they can't show their face, because if they do, that's negligence. Because then what's going to happen? Listen. What's going to happen if you show their face? Then the other fans are going to do something to him.
That's good.
No, you can't do that.
Let me tell you something.
This is the same way that the lady in the park, and you saw her. Okay, you see everybody. They're showing everybody that's doing stuff they don't have any business. It's okay to show his face. The NBA don't even have to do it. Somebody.
I don't know. I think the NBA
they do it every night on the Kiss Cam.
They need
That's a different scenario. But I think
somebody's job. You're coming to somebody's job, and you're
face isn't already shown, because there has to be some fan or something that saw his face. I'm surprised that it's not already on social media. But if you had the audacity and you had the gall to do it, then you need to have your identity revealed. What are we protecting them?
They can't do that. That's just like LeBron putting out the police officer talking about you next, and he get all in trouble for it.
All the NBA has to do is put on the back of the ticket, like baseball does, that if you touch a player, that player gets to touch you after the game, and guess what? All that.
Hands on you.
I agree. But here's the other thing too: when players do stuff like that, guess what? They lose jobs. They lose endorsements. They lose everything.
Right.
So you deserve every bit of what you get when you violate a player and get in his space. That's his job.
At the end of the day, it just boils down to this: the NBA has to hold the fans to the same standard that they hold the players. Period.
That's it. Plain and simple.
Here we have Osaka, who said, "I am reclaiming my time. You all are not going to mentally torment me. I am not speaking to the media when I come to the French Open. You all can go ahead and find me however you want, but I will not be doing that.
That's the Haitian part of her right there. I appreciate
it. She's over it. She's like, y'all
she said
can.
the French still owe us reparations. So
and that's how Mary had a little lamb.
I still don't like the fact. I still don't like the fact that she claims Japan and she talking fluent English like that. Whatever,
wait a minute.
But it's cool. I'm good.
Did y'all? I don't know if this is up for discussion.
But I have one more thing I want to talk about before we leave because we only have 5 more minutes. Kwame Brown is continuing to talk.
Winning.
And he's going after everybody.
Winning.
Listen, that brother's the verbal assassin right now.
I have missed that whole story.
Hey,
I'm gonna have to go back and look it up.
So we had a discussion about this. So what you need to look at is the totality of the story going back then. And I'm gonna try and sum it up as quickly as I possibly can. 17 years old, drafted #1 pick, straight out of high school.
We talked about this last week.
Into the pros. No, but this is one thing you need to know. Like Doug Collins and Michael Jordan, they changed the business plan. Yeah. And when they changed the business plan changed from grooming this young man to be a big man into the league to when Jordan decided to come back to now I need you to play. Mm-hmm. And so Doug Collins and Michael Jordan in their old school fashion did their old school fashion on trying to groom a 17-year-old dude into being a man or a beast in the paint. And
well, what happened this week? That's what we want to know. So
what happened this week? You know, he just continuously went after all of the people who are coming after him. If you watch the podcast that Eton did with Jahadi White,
that was good.
Nesby and
Be quiet, Show Pony.
Nesbitt, yeah.
Be quiet, Show Pony.
And what you call them? But what they did though, they gave you the whole picture of how Doug Collins, and he said somebody mess up in practice, and Kwame would be like on the other side, and they'd be like, Kwame, come here, you such and such and such and such, and they were like, he wasn't even over there.
Yeah,
what y'all talking about? Like they would show up to games, and Kwame be drenched in sweat. They're like, dog, what you been doing? And, oh man, they had me working out for 2 hours or whatever. So when the game start, this dude is done.
Yeah.
So that's 6 points. Yeah, I see that 6 points.
But put it in perspective though. Anybody that's playing on a Jordan team ain't gonna be able to shine more than Jordan.
And that's what Nesbitt said.
That's not going to happen.
Okay, I thought you guys were going to tell us what happened this week.
Well, Steven Jackson,
let's just begin with this.
He apologized this week, and Kwame was like, "Nah, it ain't going down like that." That's what happened this week.
Okay, so let's leave on a petty note. Y'all took too long.
Wearing the purple with the pink trim. His professional record, 13 wins, 9 of those coming by way of knockout against 5 losses. Fighting out of Jacksonville, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Curtis the Herd Harper. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He comes in wearing the black and the green. As a professional, he has an unblemished record consisting of 5 wins, all of those coming by way of knockouts. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, by way of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Efe, the one and only Ajagba.
Gentlemen, you can work right here. This is good. It's good right here. I gave you guys your instruction in the dressing room. I expect a clean fight and protect yourself at all times. Let's touch up. Good luck to both of you guys.
It is a heavyweight matchup. I'm going to let you know when that man fights Efe Ajagba, do not blink. Professional bouts, 4 of them have been done in the first round. So he likes to bring an end to opponents in quick fashion. And Curtis Harper has walked out of the ring.
Wait, what?
I cannot believe
I've never seen this before.
He walked out of the ring.
He's not fighting this guy.
He walked out of the ring.
I've never seen this before in my life.
Curtis Harper has walked out of the ring.
Is this
That's how Kwame got these folks shook. That's
right.
Kwame versus everybody right now.
That got his check, right? As long as he
got
get
his
in
check.
the ring, he get paid, right?
When he heard that bell, he was like, "Okay, that means
He had no
it's
intentions
out."
on fighting.
That was the most intelligent thing. That was the most intelligent thing that man did ever in his life. That's the most intelligent thing he did.
That's basically what Michael Spinks did
like
with
Black
Mike
Panther. I
Tyson.
don't want none of that smoke.
That man said he saw that Nigerian thing. He said, "Man, I'm for the ride."
But why
out
did
with
he
this.
say Jacksonville, Florida? Did you hear that?
That's where he was from. The guy who walked out of the room.
Not Florida.
Oh, he said Florida.
He said Florida.
It was a mess from the beginning.
Somebody said that it was
From
something
the
about
beginning.
his contract.
From the
They said
beginning,
it was something
Brandy.
about his
From the
contract,
beginning.
and that was the only way he could get paid is if he went to the fight and did that. That was something was wrong with it within his contract.
Like he had the bell had to ring, and he officially
had to ring, and it officially had to go. Right.
That's what they said.
Listen.
Hey, look here.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. I mean, that's just embarrassing.
No, it's totally unacceptable. It's totally unacceptable.
Well, hey, do you guys think Paul's gonna do that next week?
Yes.
No. They're crazy.
No,
he's gonna stand in the ring and
he
get
got
punched
the right
in the face.
contract. That guy.
He said he gonna stand in the ring and get punched in the face.
That's ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing. You know what? You got to think about back to your point, Dwight. It's really brilliant when you think about it. It's brilliant. He's gonna make more money even when he takes the L.
That's what I said.
They're gonna start changing the contracts to say you have to actually go through one round or something.
You have
like
to get
throw
hit.
a punch.
Yeah, you got to throw a punch and get hit. But it's gonna be funny though because he gonna swing and miss, and dude gonna be like, "Oh."
Listen, first of all,
but
that Nigerian was about to bring all the smoke.
Me too.
Wasn't he, Dwight?
It was gonna be done about 35 seconds. No offense to Jacksonville, but that brother had not been training anywhere except at a Krispy Kreme.
That part.
He was looking like me. He was looking at me in the ring.
Exactly.
In front of me in the line.
He was looking at me. Shoot.
All right, you guys have a good Memorial Day weekend.
Be safe.
We'll check you out here next week.
Bye.